And here we go, I guess. Hello. Yeah, you can't see me yet, but now you can. Hello. Glad to see you in a manner of speaking, because I can't see you, obviously. But it's nice to be here together with you in this difficult situation we've put ourselves in of having to write a story, which can be quite a fascinating journey, but also difficult. One immediately recognizes the experienced writer and wordsmith, I think. Yeah, hello. Um, you might remember, and you might even see right behind me, what we've been doing last time. I'll go to the end for you. And I'm just noticing the words are rather small. Have we been doing this like this the last time too? Because can you read this? You can't read this, can you? We need to have this a bit bigger, I think, and that's here. But I can't do this. One thing, uh, one of the many things probably I should say in advance. It's better like this, isn't it? Oh, sorry, no. The yeah, um, we have a question in the chat, and I can do that. But oh, sorry, the link is in the event, but you can have it here too. There's the link. Here you go. So yeah, one thing I should probably say in advance: we will be writing a little slower today, and under slightly different circumstances than usually, because um, I seem to have developed a slight case of tendonitis in this wrist here, and so I have to rest it. I have to rest my wrist, um, and I will need to use a speed would be nice too, but no, we won't have that today. Speech recognition software for the actual writing of the story. We'll see how that goes. I haven't tried that in the live stream yet. I have often tried it uh, without a live stream, and I know it works in general, but of course, there are lots of errors and little things one needs to correct. We'll see how that works. I will probably um, overlook many of them, but I can correct them after the live stream. So maybe we can do it like this. We'll see how that works. It's not like I can't use the hand at all. I just want to give it a rest as much as I can so it heals more quickly. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Millicent. Millicent says, "I'm sorry for you," and posts a little. Is it an image or is it a GIF? They don't play on them on their own in my Discord. I'm not sure if that's a setting I could change, but they don't. And no, it's yeah, it is a GIF. Oh, nice. Two little birds, and one of them seems to be sad or hurt. In the symbolism we're using here, it's probably hurt, or they are, because I am. And yeah, thank you. That's very kind. It's not too bad in itself. There's no real pain and nothing. I just try to not use it as much as I can, so it doesn't get worse, and maybe even better, so I can type in the uh, way I've gotten used to as soon as possible. Hmm. So for today, um, or I'll make a habit of it, same as in the German live stream. I'll start by explaining a bit about what we're doing here, and then we can start with the actual story. Yeah, right. Someone posted a heart or reacted with a heart, and I'll do the same. All right. So this is an English writing live stream. I think the English part is quite self-explanatory, and maybe so is the rest, because I mean, you see what we're doing here. We're writing a story, and it's an interactive live stream. That means you have a link to a Discord chat, and it's right below the video. You will soon, I think I forgot that again this time, you will soon have a link to the story itself too, so you can read up on it as far as we got. And in the Discord, you can ask questions, tell me what to do, discuss with the others how the story should progress, and maybe even discuss changes in the retrospect, or however we call that, we can of course do whatever we want. That's the beauty and the curse of being an author, I think. Yeah. Um, and that's a writing live stream for me. That's how we do it here in Hanover. And the story itself is, well, we don't know yet where it's going, um, but we do know, other than that famous band back then, where we've been, and that is with the first Magi. And they seem to be a group of people with, are they people? We don't know. A group of persons or entities, if you will, with magical abilities. That seems quite clear. Although it is still quite possible for those to be within the order of natural science or something. That's not even yet completely decided. Well, whatever. And in the beginning, they stopped, or one of them stopped a deportation by one of our viewpoint characters, Munira, and took Munira with them. And they took them, they took her to a cafe where, as you can see right above me here, um, I think it was her. Yeah, Munira ordered a Coke and a piece of chocolate cake, and they're waiting there to meet with the other first Magi. And I don't want to leave this out. There was maybe not actually a promise, but a strong implication that Munira was to be considered to become one of the second Magi. That's something the first Magi, who still doesn't have a name, if I remember correctly. Um, they said something in that general direction. Yeah. So that's where we are right now, and we that's the yeah, we will talk about that a lot because that's how I write. I don't have a plan. I don't have a set idea of how this story will progress and how it will finish. I have no end in sight. I have many things that are foundational to this story are not yet clear. I don't know myself if this person actually has magical abilities, or if maybe they are an alien. What's their real motivation? What's going on here? I don't know any of that myself, and we will have to decide a few of those things sooner or later. And as you probably realize, knowing the background to a story helps understand the characters, which is pretty important when writing them. But on the other hand, I like to leave some room for surprises, and some things can remain unclear. And we'll have to figure that out while we go, how to do that. Um, but I think it would be interesting to know if any of you have any ideas or thoughts on how this should work, and what the gist of the story is supposed to be. If you do, feel free always to post in the Discord and let me know, so we can talk about it and we can see how that plays into what we have written so far and what we are going to write today. Talking about what we're going to write today, I don't know that either, but I'm sure we'll find a few things. One of the things I would like to do, I don't think I've done that. No, I think I have, but not very often. In the last writing live stream, is making these small votes in the Discord by using emoji. Uh, but I kind of like those because make they make an interaction. They give you an opportunity to interact and tell me ways on and tell me how you want the story to progress, without putting too much on a strain on the audience. Because I imagine it's a personal thing. Maybe it's different for you, but I imagine for many people it's much more difficult to come out and actually tell me, look, I want this and this and this to happen, without a prompt and just like that. Whereas if I make a vote where I say, do you want the other first Magi to come right away, one after the other, or all together, but later, then you can just put in the vote, and we have a systematic or structured um, questioning of your ideas and what you want. and also it's much easier for you because you only have to click one emoji. Of course, on the other hand, as is always the case, there's a downside to that. It limits, of course, your expression in a way, and it, yeah, basically that's it. But I want to make it clear that you, of course, you can always also post text and tell me, no, 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 I like none of those options. I want it completely different, and that's how I want it. That's possible too. And let's start with that. Let's make a little vote, and let's just try doing it via the the speech recognition, as I told you I would. So we'll see how that goes. I'll start this. You will see me leave the video window time and again during this stream. I think you'll still hear me because I'm using a headset, so where I am in the room is not that important for the sound. I'm sorry, I know that it's not completely up to professional standards, but this will happen and it will happen again. And I think, at least for this stream, where I'm also laboring under the difficulty of my tendonitis wrist, I will not do a lot against it. So you will sometimes have this empty video window while I'm doing something else, in this case, configuring the speech recognition in the hopes that it will work well for what I'm trying to do. So here we go. Here, I'm back. Look, hello. So let's start. Will the it works basically. That's something. Right, there you go. First mistake. It's still German. That won't work. I need to change that. I need to switch to the English recognition, of course, because uh, there will only nonsense. There will be only nonsense if I try to interpret. Off. It won't turn off. Sorry. We'll manage. So yeah, here we go. Uh, and cancel. And now profile. User profile, open user profile. Here we go. Yeah, that's where we want to be. And here's the English user profile, and we want to open that right now. Come on. Whoop. Here we go. User profile loading. We'll soon be ready. And then we can start with our vote. See how that goes. There it is. Now. There you are. The tray. I had to find it, and now I have found it, but it doesn't work, of course. There. So, and now, come on over, why don't you? Here. Yeah, sorry, that's also, you see, my not having a plan and not preparing is not limited to the plot of this story. It's more of a way of life for me. You might have noticed that already. So here we go. And do I need to configure anything else? We'll see. Will the other Magi join right away, a bit later on? I'll try it like that. And of course, as you probably can imagine, the difference between the two options is mostly that our our first Magi, we really need a name for him, maybe. Um, if they have time to interact and talk, or if the others will come very soon now. Let's get some emoji for this now. Which will we use? I don't know. Maybe this one for right away, and for later on we can use a clock. Maybe there used to be. Well, it wasn't used. Didn't there used to be a search function? It seems to be gone somehow, because I would really like to search the emoji, but apparently I can't. So yeah, I really need to get these screens organized better, because that's I can't use the second one very well from here. It's all a bit suboptimal. Maybe I should use the other setup that's much better for this. I'll probably do that next time. You'll have to bear with me for today still. Sorry. If there will be a next time, which is of course up to you. Here's a clock. Let's use this clock. So yeah, and also um, I would like to ask you. I will give you the emoji to click on right away, so you don't have to find them on your own. Here you go. Um, there, you can do it like that. And also, I would ask you to think if you want to give a name to our very first Magi, who already met Munira and took her to this cafe, because I think that should happen rather soon. That we give them a name, so we don't, because it's really difficult, because we can't even really call them. See, that was good. So so we don't have to, we can't even call them the first, because they are all the first Magi. That's completely confusing. Okay, you want them to arrive right away. That's clear. Thank you. Um, Also, I'll write that into the chat too, just for clarity. But of course, you don't have to give me a name for them. I can think of one if you don't want to. Would you like to propose a name for the first Magi? Question mark. Should the other Magi react to Munira's presence? With dismay? They did not want their colleague to bring her. Pleasant surprise. They did not expect it, but are glad she's there. Or well, now I've maneuvered myself into a corner. How do I? What's the feeling you have if something happened as you expected? Acceptance, maybe, or no? That's not it either. What is the word I need? I don't want to restructure the sentence, but it doesn't work the way I started it. Um, I'll just write acceptance, and we'll have to deal with that. It's not even part of the story, so you'll have to. We will all think. We will have to make compromises here. Come on, button. Why doesn't it work? Come on, work. Yeah. simple acceptance. They expected visitors like her, or even her exactly, or even or differently. Each of them has their own reaction. Vote is almost done. I still need the emoji, and for that I need to find the damn mouse cursor. That's always a problem for me. So there we go. And now the emoji. Here we are. There's one. Maybe. Oh, that's great. They're not even within the window now anymore. Can't even see them. That makes it a bit more difficult, but we'll manage. We'll manage. I promise we'll manage. There we are. Oh, nine. Not there. Needs to be. Come on. Put it here. There you go. Pleasant surprise. Uh, I'll check what you're writing in the chat soon. Yeah, this is all as I said, it's a bit slower. Let's consider this what's it called? A deceleration writing stream. This is our meditation exercise for this weekend, or mine at least. Don't know how many meditation exercises you have, and if you consider this one of them. What's a good face for pleasant surprise? Maybe this one. It looks pleased at least. Then the simple acceptance because they expected it. Whoa. Eh, easy. That's maybe that could be this one. And then we have the option of different reactions. Some like it, some don't, some expected it. Maybe they use uh, their clairvoyance power, something like that. And this will be symbolized by what's what's a good symbol for several mixed reactions. Group of people, I think. Let's just have a group of people, but they're not moving in unison. They are very different people. No idea. Well, we'll just use no idea. We'll just use this. Doesn't matter. It's not always about finding the perfect emoji. Sometimes it's just about finding an emoji and getting on with it. And let's do that. Oh, no. This is not what I wanted. I want this saved, and now I want to add the emoji for the vote. And then I can read what you said. But first, the emoji. Here's the first one. And now the dismay. Where is it? Here's the dismay. Here is the simple acceptance. And then there's our diverse reaction group. Here you go. Now you can have your vote. And I can read what you said, which is Gekrimbel said, I'm shy, but theoretically a big fan of public suggestions, smiley. And Millicent said, maybe the name should be something ordinary in contrast to what they are, like Sam. I like that. Why not? We can call them Sam. That would be nice. Yeah, cool. It's settled then. I'll start making notes too. I have a notes document. Sam. So the votes are coming in, and I think that's mostly our vote for today. I'm not even sure we will get much further. I might. I'm not sure what I put into the event description in Discord, but I think I might get finish today after about 90 minutes. So we would be done in an hour and 7 minutes from now because I really want to rest my wrist and I notice it is a bit difficult to use all this stuff and all these different windows with just one hand. And well, might be annoying to you too. I think we have a majority now, and we have a majority for different reactions, which makes sense because I think in that way the Magi are a bit like me. Um, they don't seem a tightly knit, perfectly organized group of synchronized individuals, but rather a bit chaotic from what we can gather from the first short story from which this novel flows. If it will become a novel, we don't know that yet. So thanks. So they are going to enter soon now. Next thing. That's. I will not ask you a question every 10 seconds during the whole live stream, so don't worry about that. But I will ask another question right now. And I'll write it in the chat too, so it's kind of official. If you have any suggestions about who and how many the other magi will be, feel free to tell me anytime. I'll be glad to take suggestions, but I can also think of stuff myself if you prefer. Sorry, if you prefer that. Here you go. So yeah, we can. I will start to give you a little time and also to make my thoughts clear. This live stream is of course a lot of me talking, and I hope you don't mind that, because if you do, this might not be the right writing stream for you, because yeah, well, that's how it is. And my talking does not only have the advantage of communicating directly about issues and my asking questions and you answering them and all that, but if I explain the reasoning behind what I'm considering, it might, I think you can give me feedback on that anytime if it doesn't work, or if it doesn't work like that or something. My thought in the matter is, if I tell you the direction I'm thinking in and why I'm thinking that and why I'm not thinking this and all that, it helps you to make suggestions first, because it helps you understand in which directions I need suggestions, and also it might be useful for you um, um, if you have a better understanding of why I'm typing the stuff I'm typing, that makes it easier to steer me in the direction you want me to, and to explain our differences in opinion if we have them, or something like that. Yeah, you know how that goes. And what I'm thinking right now is, we have a group of magi, and um, one thing I've already uh, talked to Epiphany about um, is, we want, of course, a diverse group of magi. We don't want them all to be white, for example. That would be quite horrible. Um, but as you might also have noticed, I usually do not describe my characters in much detail. So there's a bit of a difficulty there to make clear that we have a diverse group without, uh, well, going into weird detail for those who we consider diverse. Since, well, for example, we right now, at least among those in the chat, I think we are a white group of people. So it might be uh, what it might feel a bit natural to us to just assume, if we don't describe a person, it's a white person, and if a black person enters, then we say something about the skin color, and that's othering. That's a problem. On the other hand, I don't see myself becoming the kind of writer who describes the precise skin tone for every character they have. So we might find ways to do that in a more subtle way, or maybe just go ahead. And that's one thing. One other thing related to this problem, the depth of description, of course, indicates the importance of a character. Um, we would probably not describe the server in this cafe in as much depth as Munira and the first Magi, because assuming that the server will not play a bigger role in the future of the story. They will bring some cake, they will bring some coke, maybe they will even have some text or an opinion on stuff or say something, but later on we will probably not return to them, although we might. So the depth of description can also be an indication of the importance of a character, and that can be an advantage and a disadvantage. Yeah, but coming back to the original issue. We have a group of magi. We want them to be diverse, and we want them, to have a certain size. So that's one thing we need to decide if we have them meet in this cafe. How many of them are there? Are there two? Are there three? Is there one of the traditional magical fairy tale numbers? I think those would mostly be the prime numbers, like 3 or 7, 13, maybe 11. 17, I think, would be in a range I wouldn't feel comfortable with, because that would be a lot of people. But then again, if you all feel like the first Magi should be a group of 25 people, that would be doable. I think it would preclude us from describing them all in very much depth, but that might be an advantage, because it makes it easier to just give a slight wave in the direction of them being a diverse group without having to describe each single one of them. Not sure about that exactly, but that's the thought I have on this. Mm. So do you have any wishes? Maybe I'll do another vote even about that, or maybe you can type it in the chat as you prefer. Do you think they are a large group, a small group? Do we want to go with one of the traditional magical fairy tale numbers, or just make them 4? There can be 4 first magi. Why not? They don't have to adhere to the traditional fairy tales, and it would also fit with our decision to name the first magi Sam. So it might be a nice touch even. Millicent says, I thought of the number 7. It's, as you said, one of the magic numbers. Yep. Epiphany was thinking 5. Yeah, so maybe we can let's let's split the difference. There can be 6. There can be 6 first magi. How about that? Wouldn't be a magical number, and it would be an even number, which kind of doesn't feel magical, does it? Well, do we do a vote? Do I throw a coin? Do we have any other wishes by other participants? Gekrimmel is typing, so maybe there's something coming up. Well, we could even have a compromise in the direction of them being 7 first magi, but only 5. Grimmel says, I thought more about 3 or 4, but the more the merrier. How do you feel about having the first magi? Feels like a nice compromise to me, and also, what can I say, a slight touch of depth to the world we're living in, or something. If we have 7 first magi, but only 5 attend this meeting. So we have 2 more for later on, and we can just have those 2 be off on some, well, not sure, important mission, or maybe they are still sleeping. Maybe they just slept in because their alarm didn't go off or something. We can do whatever we want, and this I always feel these little touches that don't precisely serve the plot, but just lend a bit more color and depth to the world, although they don't really change anything. Um, they always help me with my suspense of disbelief about a story, because it gives me the feeling that there's stuff going on that's not directly on the page, and the characters and their stories and the world are not limited to a little bit of different colors on a screen or something, but that there is, stuff going on that I'm not aware of in the background. So the world feels deeper and more realistic in a way. I know describing it like that makes the decision to have 2 characters who are not on screen sound like a stroke of literary genius, akin to Ulysses or something, which it most assuredly is not. But uh, It's one simple detail that helps in a certain direction. Epiphany says, sounds good. Millicent gives me a thumbs up, and Gekrimmel says, I love the idea of some of them having slept in. Yeah, why not? Um, not sure. They could arrive later, but we don't even necessarily need to show that. Um, we don't have to show the full meeting in this scene, and I assume we won't be able to write it all today. Okay, so starting with that, I think I will now begin the actual writing process for today. But I will, of course, come back to the chat and ask you questions and maybe even organize some votes. And also, as always, you can feel free to tell me if you want something changed or if you have ideas or questions anytime. Um, I think we just have a I hesitate to say a solid foundation for the rest of the story, but um, I think I have asked and gotten answers to all the questions I have mostly thought about and wanted your input on. Maybe like that. What did the Magi order? Ah, yeah. They ordered kabuzicha. And nothing else. Then I think the server can now ask. Yeah, yeah. The server turned to the Magi again to ask colon quotation mark. Oh, quote. Oh, what do I say? Ah, help. I don't know how to make the what's the name for a quotation mark, damn it. Um, wait a second. Yeah, I'm getting used to this. This will all be very much better in the next live stream when I've gotten past the tendonitis and don't need the speech recognition anymore. I'll know perfectly how to do it by then. Okay. Wait a second. Give me short time to find the right word. What's the right word for what I'm looking for? How do I? Oh, of course, now you're there. How do I do this? Anführungszeichen is what we call them in German. And they are quotes, quotation mark, inverted commas, quotation mark, double quote, inverted comma, quotation marks. Why doesn't Dragon type them then? I think I'll try to look it up. Help. Improve my accuracy. Help topics. Interactive tutorial. Help topics. Okay. Nothing happened. It's not here. It's not here. There? Is it there? Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'll need to get it on the main screen now. Yeah, that's better. And now get started. Dictate text. Edit text. Yeah, dictate text. So, and now, how do I do what? How about transcribed, working, using, and customizing, dictating punctuation? Here we go. That's what I want. Um, Single quote, open quote. Yeah, right. That was it. That was it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot, but now I know. Yeah, right. That was it. Open quote. Yeah, 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 right. And the other one is, can I also close quote? Probably. Yeah, close quote. That's easy. I should have remembered that. That's how it works. Right. Now I know. Oh, Why isn't it? There. Again. Open quote. Anything else for you? Question mark. Maybe a piece of cake, comma, two, question mark. Close quote. Well, it works, doesn't it? I hope it's not too annoying for you. Small decisions can be difficult too. Does the Magi want cake or not? I think they want cake. But what kind of cake do they want? The same as Munira? A different one? Hmm. A simple cake? Like, I don't even know what's a funnel cake is something I know in English, but I'm not sure what it is. Um, simple cake or a more complex cake, or maybe they want something salty. Hmm. What what would what would a magi order in a cat cafe if they went to a cat cafe? They brightened up and chuckled. Full stop. New line. Open quote. Oh yes, I'm sorry, comma, I forgot all about that. Exclamation mark. And you know what, comma, I also forgot all about what kinds of cake you have in that cupboard over there, comma, but I do love the kinds of bakery where they put that sticky, sugary stuff on top, comma, I'm not sure how exactly it's made, comma, but I assume it's mostly sugar. Just maybe. Uh, they turned to with a wistful expression and added, colon, open quote. Yeah, that's the thing with the speech recognition. Sometimes we get small technical difficulties, but I think they're bearable, don't you? With a wistful expression and added, birthday. They made this rather simple, comma, but delightful thing out of raisins and what pistachios with little pieces of mixed with little pieces of they frowned and started snapping a finger. Munira screwed up her eyes. Correct when you are. Spell that. Munira. The idea is that I just taught the speech recognition machine to say Munira, or how I say Munira. We'll see how it goes. Mm. And whispered, open quote. You know, maybe they don't want your whole life story. The Magi chuckled again, shook their head, and smiled up at the server apologetically. She's right, of course. Just something with lots of sugar, maybe, question mark. I think it boils down to a just like sugar. The server reciprocated the smile, if maybe with a slight touch of confusion. Correct, it may be. Correct, it may be. Choose one. Nodded, turned away, and said, open quote, sure thing, I'll find just the right delicacy for you, exclamation mark, close quote. So thanks, Gekrimbel, for your suggestion. I hope you like how I implemented it. I know I didn't do quite exactly what you asked for, but I think it might have been close enough. If not, let me know. So now I think would be time for the first Magi to arrive. I have an idea myself, but if you would like to influence me, feel free to do so anytime. Maybe I'll have to I'll do a little tiny bit of research first. Wait, like this. Hmm. We could even now I'm not sure how that works. Maybe you can let me know what you think. I just had the idea that we could have a person in a quite outrageous outfit or otherwise generally considered weird look walk in, and Munira assume that's one of the Magi, and then it's not. Very, very small, slight joke, maybe, and maybe even a bad one. I'm not sure, but it just occurred to me that we could do that. Do you like that idea or not so much? Maybe I'll start doing it and we'll see how it works. And if it doesn't work, we can just delete it again. That's part of the writing process too. Unfortunately, maybe. But well, that's life. While she hurried off to the cake, oh, what would you even call it? The place where the cake is in the cafe, Kuchenregal. Not sure. Cake. What do you call it? Cake display? I think it's what we wrote last time, right? Yeah, I think we'll use that. Display, comma, a rather big person in a wide green kaftan with golden stitchings on it, entered, comma, thick, no, dreadlocks falling over their shoulders down to their hips, comma, almost like a cake, cape. Oh, thank God, close quote, Munira said, comma, smiling. I had the creeping suspicion you might just be a bunch of white guys with a savior syndrome or something. The Magi looked up, comma, blinking, and shook their head. Full stop, new line, open quote. Oh no, they said, comma, close quote. Full stop, open quote. We're definitely not, comma, but this is not one of us. Full stop. That's just a customer. Maybe like this? I don't want to make a big song and dance about it. Just tiny little joke, throw away. The person will then sit down in a corner and have something to eat and drink and not, maybe, probably not play a further role in our story. For a change of topic, and also because she had been wondering, she asked, open quote, what's your name, question mark. You can imagine I'm thinking about you a lot right now, and I want to call you something in my head. Haven't I mentioned, question mark, how very rude of me, exclamation mark. Correct can. Correct this. Correct can I mention. Haven't I mentioned. You can call me Sam, comma, everyone does, full stop. New line. Why do they call you Sam, question mark. Sam, question mark. Munira already had the slight suspicion. And here we see the glory of teaching. It didn't work at all. Maybe we'll have to practice this a bit. That she would regret asking the question. And it was immediately confirmed, colon. New line, open quote. Because it's my name, full stop, close quote. Of course. There, comma. Is that one of you? Munira managed to stop herself from pointing, comma, but since there was only one person entering the cafe right now, Sam could not misunderstand who she was talking about. So this time, I think I would not like to make this a joke that goes on and on and on. So this will be a real first magi. Um, hmm. How do we? How do we introduce them? What do they look like? Maybe it might be a bit on the nose, but we can still make finer adjustments later on. I think this one might look a bit more normal, just a person in a suit. There could still be a black person, which would again leave the question open how exactly to point that out without othering them. Uh, but that's the direction I'm thinking of right now. Um, I'm googling something. Give me a second. Yeah, that's him. Looking for my mouse cursor. There it is. Um, the person was wearing a dark gray suit with a blue tie and a white shirt, which looked to Munira like it might not have been of the very latest fashion, but maybe rather cut like they used to wear it 20 or 30 years ago. But of course, she was no expert on such matters. The suit still made them look like some rich business to her, but still, but it still felt good to know. The Magi were not. Of the Magi were actually black. Also, maybe a bit on the nose, I'm not sure. Uh, but I think it's better to have Munira react that way and think about it like that instead of always just describing the black and people of color as black and people of color and not and well I explained that I still haven't quite figured out how to do that. Maybe we should get a sensitivity reader on that. We definitely should if we ever should try to publish this in a big way. I would certainly do that, but right now I feel like this is not on the level where we invest lots of money into this story. We're investing time and thought, and that's something. And still, if you have feedback and if this doesn't feel good to you, or if you think it's wrong and we should do it in a different way, or anything else, just let me know. We can think about it together. If this was one of them, comma, this time. Oh, yes. Sam replied and waved at the newcomer. Now, another name. Do we go with another everyday name, or would we rather try a more well, yeah, that's difficult too. In general, I think we might have a mixture that some of the magi use more use yes Heuwägelchen, sorry, that some of the magi use less everyday usual names. So we could have one called Nebuchadnezzar or something, or Abednego or Shadrach, or all the old non-European names I know are from the Bible, I think. Or we could even have, but that ah, we could of course have names from old Viking era epics or something, but that brings maybe some rather unpleasant associations with it too, because at least in Germany, those are beloved by Nazis, and that's what not the vibe we want from our magi. The word black doesn't have a capital letter in English except if it's a name, says Millicent. I beg to differ. I think it actually does. I might wait. I might give you a link to read up on that. Wait, because the color black, of course, not. But a black person is not about the color. Um, Capitalizing. I'll give you a link to read about this. I think it might be quite possible to find here. Maybe this. I don't like the New York Times, but I don't want to force you to watch me Google for 20 minutes or something. But you might be interested in this one. Wait. I'll vanish from view for a few seconds again to much easier copy this link. So because the damn mouse cursor is gone, is yeah. Um, but thanks for the feedback. I don't want to discourage you from telling me if you find mistakes in my writing, because you will find a lot of mistakes, and I'd love for you to tell me. And so not don't consider this a rebuke or something. It was just, I think in this case it's better to capitalize it. Gekrimmel says, I'd say they have very different names, like very simple, very high fantasy, very old-fashioned, very modern. I love the idea that there are a collective of weird people choosing their own names as they please. I agree very much. But where I was going is now we face a little a different problem. We have the black person who at least is wearing a suit, um, and not a kaftan or something, because we don't want to make them too much of a cliche, obviously. But still, maybe it feels bad to give them. But maybe they can have a fantasy name, but not one that sounds like we thought of it, because it is for a black person. Like maybe, I don't know. Elric is probably not a good idea. Hmm. Millicent says, "No problem. Don't mind learning new things." Yeah, gladly. I just didn't want this to feel like a confrontation. Yeah, glad. Good to know. Yep, so yeah, well, Elric is maybe not the best name, but something like this, we could give them a fantasy name without. falling too much into cliche. Or how about maybe what's there's Edda or yeah, well, then again that has some difficult associations too. Yeah, but the black person could indeed have a fun Viking name. Maybe we could try that. Um, what are Viking names? You could call them Thor because they like maybe they like the Marvel movies. I personally don't, but I'll Google a few Viking names and we'll see how that goes. Um, Viking names. Bo. Nobody would ever. they, they no. We could call them Bo. That's apparently a Viking name, and nobody would ever know we gave them a Viking name. Um, Frode. Gorm. Gorm. Gorm is nice. Filtert alle Cookies. Where do we know the names from? Here we go. Yeah, well, Sigrid, Revna, Sif, Tora, Dove, Helpful, Turid, Yrsa, Ase, Edgar. Hmm. Helga. Helga is funny because uh, it's a very boring name in German. If you want to think of a traditional person, um like I don't know, the kind of person who sits on their window with their elbows on a cushion and looks out at the street and yells at people who park wrong, you might call that character Helga. So that's not a name we're going to. Although we could, it might be even funny. But yeah, well, mm, maybe we'll do this. You can tell me if it works for you. We can always change stuff. That's Tora, like the Jewish holy book. Jewish holy book? Question mark. Yeah, little speech recognition accidents, they happen. Jewish holy book? Question mark. Close quote. Munira asked, comma, confused, full stop. Sounds the same, comma, but it's actually a Viking name. Replied Sam, full stop, open quote. I think they picked it partially because they like the comics. Which brings me to another question. I just started with Sam calling the newcomer they them, but of course Sam would know Torah's pronouns and use the correct ones. So maybe Torah doesn't use they them pronouns because we already established that Sam does. So that's maybe we want some maybe we want to change that up too. So not they, just me. Maybe just why not go with a neo pronoun? Not sure if they are, but I think they are rather similar to the German neopronouns because that's, yeah, well, neopronouns. I'll Google a page that proposes some and then I'll just use them, I think. Neopronoun. Well, Wikipedia might not be the best source for that particular question. How about this? Here. Oh, I haven't used that. How about M? Yeah, we'll go with M, if you don't mind. Of course, it's always everything I say here, you can always consider it at least partially a question to you. I just use different ways of phrasing it, and of course, um, sometimes I don't even think through what I say. But nothing I say here is just a done decision, and everything can be influenced and changed by you, because this is an interactive writing stream. So here you go. Actually, a Viking name, I think here. And now I need to learn how to, which I hope you don't mind, because I don't have a lot of experience with neopronouns. So I will use this writing stream to learn them. If that's unpleasant and uncomfortable for you, you can tell me, and I will spend more time learning it when I'm not live. Um, but yeah, as you know, time is limited. I think I'll manage. It's not like I want to make a huge deal out of this, but I will make mistakes and I will have to look it up now and again, just so you know. Yeah. I think I picked it because it's just two times A. I picked it partially because I like the comics. The movies, Torah added, while sitting down. I think they're fun, comma, too. Full stop, close quote. Eh, Munira said, not my thing. She stopped for a second to consider correct second. Choose one. That she was right now sitting in a cat cafe with two apparently supernatural magical beings telling them she didn't like superhero comics, which immediately I just had a thought, and I think we need to discuss this because I'm scrolling up this. Yeah, right. This is the beginning here. And I think what we need to do, Munira needs to be worried about her parents. And I think we haven't done that yet. And that's not right. Um, she has a family, and those police people were trying to deport them. And while in the beginning, for a few minutes, she might be too shocked by everything to think of that, she would very very soon need to start talking about it. So maybe you can let me know, what do you think? Is it already too late for her to realize, wait, I need immediately to find out if my family is safe? Um, should we do that earlier, or do you think it's still kind of plausible after discovering that everything you knew about the world was wrong and there were magicians who are trying to change stuff? That might take that long for you to get the idea that if they tried to deport me, they probably got my family too, so I need to do something. What do you think? I mean, it's at least it's not really an issue of a few minutes, because a deportation is not like uh, it's not like if you don't act now. Maybe Munira might think that, because uh, in our reality where we are, as soon as the family is in the plane, for example, it's hard to stop them. But those rules don't apply if you have magical beings. Mm. So in our story, it doesn't really matter if they act a few minutes earlier or later, or even a few hours. Hmm. Maybe we just we think about that till next time, because we are getting close to the end of our. Maybe we do that. We think about that until next time. Let's make that our optional homework, because you don't know, except for Gekrimbel, who is a regular participant in the German live stream too. There is voluntary homework in these live streams, which means I give you a few questions to ponder, and you have the option to do that and come back with a well-formed opinion next time. But you also have the options to not do that, because life is hard enough, and I don't want to add to your task load. Mm. So I think, while this hasn't even been the full 90 minutes, I think we have done something today, and I have a few more ideas for the next time. So I'm optimistic, in case you even want there to be a next time. If you say, "Oh no, that was enough. I have my experience with the writing stream. I have heard your voice quite enough. Thank you, sir." You can tell me, and we'll be done. And maybe I'll write on this story on my own, because I love it. But everything is voluntary here. Um, but I think for today I will finish this, not because I don't like writing with you, because I enjoy this tremendously. You are a wonderful audience, and I like this story. I like everything about this. But you know, I want to rest my wrist. And while I think this has worked nicely, it has also been a bit complicated uh, in time at times, because well, the different screens I use are not interacting quite as well, and having to do everything with one hand, and the speech recognition software, it works, it's not a problem. But the temptation to just quickly do something with my right hand, well, um, I don't want to make the tendonitis worse. And I think next time we meet, I should have this either behind me, or maybe have had the hand completely amputated, which would also remove the temptations. So either way, I think this will not be an issue next time, and to give me a better chance to heal, maybe even until Monday, so I'll be able to work. You know how important that is. Um, and oh yeah, I'm glad. Epiphany says it would be great to have a next time, and Millicent says I'd love to continue this. Great. So would I. So then I'm looking forward to our next appointment. I will post another doodle, I think. Gekrimbel says me too. Oh, that's great. I hope for your understanding that I cut this a bit short today. It was tremendously enjoyable, but I feel like this is a good opportunity to have a few thoughts and maybe sleep on it a bit, for us all to consider if we need to go back and retroactively change a bit of dialogue, or just add a line. That would also be a possibility, to just in the beginning somewhere add a line that says something like, Munira had asked about her family, And the Magi had assured her that they were safe or something. Maybe even have Torah be the Magi who saved her family or something. Also a possibility. We should think about that till next time. I think that's a nice opportunity. So yeah, we'll finish here, and I say thank you. I also say if you know people you like and consider valuable additions to this stream, if you think they might enjoy this, feel free to invite them. Um, I'm glad to do it with you, and it's completely okay. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'd be open to having more participants too, if you like. And also, if you like this, you can like the video on YouTube, which kind of helps with the algorithm, I'm told. You can subscribe to my channel, which also help. And apparently you can press that little bell button, but that's really annoying. So consider, think well about it, because that bell button means you get a push notification every time I do something on YouTube, or publish a video at least. And maybe you don't want that. I understand if you don't want that. I hate those uh, push notifications if they are necessary. And yeah, think about it. But I think it helps algorithmically too. So if you want to be notified whenever I do something on YouTube, you should consider pushing the button, because that button helps me too. Yeah, you can also write a comment if you like on YouTube. I'm probably mostly talking to hypothetical people who watch this video only on YouTube and are not in the Discord, but who knows? People are different. And if you feel like writing a comment on YouTube too, instead of just interacting with me in Discord, you can do that. Of course, you can also share this stuff on Twitter and wherever you like. And I look forward to doing this again. Thank you and goodbye. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy your time. And if you like, think about our story and what we will do next and how we will solve this little issue with Munira's family. Goodbye and have a nice time. See you. Bye. Stream beendete.